Welcome back to OPA Podcast, episode 64. Welcome back. We are back officially for the start of the season. Let's go. Come on, boys. Let's cheer up. Woo!
Whoa.
Woot, woot. So, welcome back, everyone. We are previewing Game 1 versus Nebraska today. The game is this Thursday, August 31st, kicking off at 7 p.m. Central for the TV and radio stuff, airing on Fox, with Gus Johnson being the play-by-play, Joe Klatt as analyst, Jenny Taft for
That's
as a
super
reporter.
hype, actually.
Yeah. And then on the radio is KFAN, Mike Grimm, play-by-play, Daryl Thompson as your analyst, and Justin Guard on the field. But yeah, very excited. We open prime time and opening Big Ten play this Thursday. So very exciting. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention Wyatt's not here, but I am joined by Soup. Say hi, Soup.
Hello.
And Griffin.
That's good.
All right, moving on, boys. So here's some other infos here, or info for the game coming up. I did check ESPN. Right now, the FPI is calculating Minnesota a 67.3% victory versus Nebraska's 32.7%. And then in terms of betting odds, these I actually looked at the averages. Right now, Gophers are at -7.5, Nebraska +7.5. Over under being at 43.5 for this game. So Vegas is thinking we win by single digits.
Yeah, I mean, first game against a new head coach, and PJ's just going to put it on ice at the end of the game.
Always. But going on from there, let's get some quick notes. I'm going to mention off my plate first, and then we can all go from there. So PJ Fleck returns as our for his seventh year as head coach of our Golden Gophers. Last year's campaign brought us to a 9-4 season, a victory in the Pinstripe Bowl against Syracuse. We are returning a lot of talent who played last year, but also some newcomers for this upcoming season. And I mentioned earlier, we are opening Big Ten play for Week 1. Last time we did it was against Ohio State in 2021. And then before that was Michigan in 2020. And so a note about this is that, it's going to be our third Big Ten opener in the last 4 years. The exception was last year, which was against non-conference. So some quick notes on that, but going on from there, let's touch on the Golden Gophers offense. Any initial reactions from everyone here on how our offense is going to look this year?
I'm excited for eighth and time. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to begin his first, and it's kind of it's the Ethan Kelly McManus era of Gopher football. So it's really exciting to see him take the reins. He's a full-time starter. We have some big key pieces coming back: offensive line, wide receiver. Overall, the only question that I have is around the running backs. We've got some great backups in the past that are good RB2s and 3s, but now it's time to see how our running backs do this year, because that's my biggest area of concern, as there's nothing proven quite yet.
I agree with that. Yeah, I will say, I don't know. I feel like because we had a very stable set of running backs, like how PJ likes to go with his pair and a spare mantra.
Mm-hmm.
Like when in his first season, he had Shannon Brooks and Rodney Smith and Kobe McCrary. That's a name I haven't heard said in a while too. And it was off and on between Shannon, Rodney, and Mohammed. And then when they got hurt, actually Bryce Williams got some action that year when we first won the Axe back as well. So we have a very veteran-laden running back room currently. I think, but yeah, Bryce Williams is back. We took on Western Michigan transfer Sean Taylor or Tyler. Tyler.
I think it's Tyler.
I'm butchering his name already. Damn. But for me, we just got used to Mohammed Ibrahim just being a runaway locomotive battering ram against all these, non-conference and Big Ten opponents we've had the last, oh my gosh, 5 years, 6 years with him being in the running back stable. So I'm concerned as you are, Griffin. I'm low key expecting a downgrade this year, but like I think we're gonna go back to that instead of that Mohammed being that bell cow, like the one guy that we have, and is everyone behind him. I think we'll go back to that pair and a spare, which will be productive, but like not to the level of like Mo. I feel like unless that's just me and I'm just that worried about the running game.
Well, I don't think they need to be that productive this year, right? Like, I think they're going to rely on Ethan a lot more than people think.
Definitely. And then looking at the offensive line as well, only two members of the O line is returning. I think so. Currently, left tackle Ariante Ursary, and then former right tackle. I think he got moved to right guard. Quinn Carroll is returning. Nathan Bowe, who started the bowl game under center last year, is a redshirt senior. Will be at center. So he has some playing experience in our like 6-man packages and in the bowl game. And then I am not sure who is our left guard and right tackle are, unless you guys know.
I can
Off the
look.
top of my head.
Okay. And then obviously very excited on the passing game though. Like we have Brevin returning under tight end. And then on the receiver side, Crab, Chris Aubin-Bell's back, Lemeki Brockington's back, Daniel Jackson's back, and then we got some newcomers coming in this current years from the transfer portal and on the recruiting side. So very, very excited on the talent we have in the passing game too.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun year of Daniel Jackson and Brevin Spanford, I think.
All right, but other than that, anything else about the offense besides it being, eighth and era, a little concerned about the running game and everything else?
I think Ariante's is secretly like the most important player for the offense this year. I think Ethan will struggle under pressure as he's got less experience. It's still new for him, and I think if the left tackle plays well for him, I think it'll really help him take that step that we all want to see. And also, Jason, to your point about the running game, I think it'll be big if they can really get some consistent, good blocking out of the left tackle position.
Yeah, good blocking, but then just comfort in the pocket overall. You kind of see newer quarterbacks take the field. They're kind of a little antsy and maybe try to make a play too quick. Just wanted him to at least have enough protection to be comfortable and make those smart decisions, whether it's tucking the ball and running or maybe just throwing the ball away. That's kind of the big thing that I think he can work on with Nebraska. It's a good first opponent to kind of go through all the motions and the reps.
For sure. And I don't know why I keep seeing this image in my head. I'll say it here. I kind of want it. If it happens, I called it. I could see this game opening drive, slant pass to Daniel Jackson, and he takes it in for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of Tyler Johnson from
I think the offense is
2016,
going to look
17.
a lot more like it did against Wisconsin than it did at Penn State.
Yeah, last year's game against Wisconsin, very pass heavy than run heavy, very well balanced. So hopefully you can see more of that. Anything else before we move on?
Just to answer your interior offensive line question, is Nathan Bowe at center and Carter Shaw probably, or Tyler Cooper
At left guard.
or at left guard. Or there's this young kid, there's true freshman they're very excited about. His name's Greg Johnson. I don't know if he'll play at all this year. They'll probably try and redshirt him, but I've heard they're very excited about him.
All right. Moving on, let's get on to defense. So Joe Rossi is returning again after being our longtime defensive coordinator. Exciting pieces. I don't know where to start, honestly, guys. We bring back Tyler Nubin. He could have left for the NFL last year, but comes back again. Justin Wally is back in the secondary as well. In the linebacker core, Cody Lindenberg, who stepped up last year and especially during the bowl game. A very athletic freak at linebacker, and then our D line looks feisty. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, the D line is going to be very key. I think, Chad Joyner is my guy, so I'm very excited to see what happens this year for them. So I think it's it's a group of guys who like all have a little something to prove after last year, and I think there's some good players there, and I think it'll be very interesting to see how they play.
Yeah, along with Jod Joyner, I mean, one that I want to see take the biggest step up this year is Danny Strigow.
Mm.
He's and he was, I think he was good last year. He was present, but I would expect him to take a much bigger jump this year in terms of establishing himself as a big defensive presence in the backfield.
He's been amazing at spot starting and being a rotational guy last year, so I'm very excited to see him on the field too.
Yeah, Jalen Logan Redding too.
Yes.
Then going on from there, special teams. So Wyatt's not here to talk about that, so we'll try our best to recover that or that passion in special teams. But we did lose Matt Trickett, who was our kicker for the last 2 years. Has moved on. It looks like Dragon Kesic will be our kickoff and extra point and field goal kicker this year.
Kickoff, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He can kick it far. Accuracy, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. He does have a big leg, I will say that. So we'll see how it goes. But then again, I'll give it benefit of doubt. We won't know until we see him in game action when field goals needs to become a thing. I will say though, and I think Wyatt might agree with this, Mark Crawford is still our starting punter.
Yep, 39 yards and a bullet, baby.
Yep. And then Quinton Logan Redding is returning as our kick and punt returner on special teams, which is very exciting. What he played, I thought was best he can, being a young guy into the position. And I forget which game it was. I think we actually joked about it on the group chat where special teams can actually get positive yardage. And I think that was a Syracuse game. I think there's another as well.
Yeah. And Sean Tyler had 3 kickoff return touchdowns at Western Michigan. So he might be in play. But they have no excuse. They have no excuse for not returning punts this year. There's zero excuse for not returning punts this year. You have too many athletes, too many older transfers coming in, and you just return punts. I don't understand why they refuse to do it. They've been so bad. They've never been higher than 8th out of 14 in punt returns. They had for 1 year. 1 year they're number 4, and that's because of Antoine Winfield, who you may have heard of, Junior. And otherwise, they've just been 13th, 14th, 11th every year. There's too many athletes on this team for that to be acceptable.
Yeah. And then I will say this as well,
that's in punt return yards.
Yeah.
That's in punt return yards. It's terrible.
Because you look at what PJ wants, he wants to be even, everyone plays their part in all 3 phases of the game, so offense, defense, and special teams. And I swear, and that's what I think all of us probably got mad about the last couple years, was special teams not doing anything to either put us in the best position possible or get us, closer. Yeah. At the Syracuse game, they actually set up a great return and set up for a touchdown one drive or one to 2 plays later, which we never see. They don't ever get us in that position ever. Until, again, Syracuse just comes to mind as the most recent game. But I want to see more. And if we have to be just 7th or 6th in the Big Ten, I will take it. Because it's an improvement.
We're asking them to try. You know what I mean? That's it. Put someone out there and let them run the ball forward. That's all we're asking.
If it doesn't change, the hashtag fire Wenger is
I don't know.
still
There's
strong.
at this point. At this point, if they haven't, I don't know. He must be like a phenomenal recruiter. You know what I mean? He must just be like their ace in the whole recruiter that like we don't know about, who's like just like so great at like the in-person visits or whatever. And that's why he's there, because I can't at this point. I don't know. What do you do here?
I think he's our linebacker coach too. I think that's his two titles: special teams coordinator and linebackers.
Okay, well they've been mediocre too. That doesn't help.
I mean, at this point, it's been this many years. It tells me like how much confidence do you have in your players?
Yeah, I think the athletes on the team are very different this year though. So this is like a very meatball take of mine, but I went to the preseason Vikings game against Tennessee, and the Gophers were there, and I walked past all of them on the way up to my seat, and I was like, this is the biggest team I've ever seen at Minnesota. Like, these guys are huge. Like, I think the team is just like much more athletic. It's built in a very different way than I think we're used to. And I think they're finally kind of like turning that corner with the density of like their recruits contributing, and like the portal I think has helped speed up that process as well for everyone. And I think they do a good job of benefiting from it in that way.
But I think also as well, whenever I think of Minnesota, I don't know why I think this, probably because I'm looking at the framework of like most recent, which was Jerry Kill's era when I was watching as a full on fan. Through Kill and Clay's and now PJ, um, particularly PJ's early tenure, because remember like he had a lot of the Kill and Clay's era players still on the roster. Special teams was like, in terms of especially on the kicking side and return side, was strong. Like a guy named Antoine Winfield Jr. Tweezy, who's on the NFL, was one of our guys on that side of the ball. Emmett Carpenter, I feel like one of the best kickers.
They're pretty good on special teams.
Yeah, and
that's
then
not even like the point.
Yeah,
like I would love for them to be good, but we're asking that they try and return the ball on punts. That's it.
Just be better than the last 3 years. Just that.
Try. Just do something.
Insert that meme is like the guy, us with the stick, and the guy on the ground is the Gopher special teams.
Yeah,
do something.
They are hashtag built different this year. I think just physically they look a lot bigger.
All right, special team rant over.
I guess.
All right, Wyatt, I hope we did that justice. Going on from there, our opponent, again, like I mentioned earlier, we are opening Big Ten play. Will be against fellow Big Ten West opponent, Nebraska. Before we dive into more nitty-gritty stuff about who their staff is and players that they brought in or returning, we have, in terms of recent memory, we won against Nebraska last year, 20-13 in Lincoln. That was a game where Tanner started and was replaced by Ethan partway through the game in the second half. Very reminiscent of a 2018 game a few years ago. And then on top of that, we are on a 4-game win streak against Nebraska and currently lead the overall series 36-25-2. And mind you, all those wins were against a Scott Frost-led team in Nebraska and not Matt Rule. So
we'll never forget you, Scott.
We never will. But moving on, yes, as I mentioned, Matt Rule is their new head coach going into his first year here. If some people don't know who he is, he was the former coach of the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. Before that, he coached at Baylor, and I believe, I think Temple before that. So it'll be his first game into his first season here, which will be against our Golden Gophers. I don't have much notes on this just because I don't follow other teams very, very well, but I do know in most recent weeks their most veteran receiver had entered the transfer portal, and who was slated to be a starter. So I don't know what's happening with that, but I'll let you guys take the lead on previewing against this current Nebraska team and roster.
Well, first of all, Matt Rule's getting like paid by the NFL still, and doing this because he was so bad in the NFL, which is kind of funny. But he's a good college coach. It's just good for him, and it'll be fun to like see how it starts for them. But like we're too established at this point. Like we should win this game. Like we should go. We're better than them right now. We should go out here. We should win.
I mean, this is Nebraska's culture year, I guess you could say. Like Matt Rule's already, dealt with, picking Jeff Sims over Casey Thompson, and then there's a DB that's no longer on the team. He's really it's his first year, so it's all about change. Like you mentioned, we're too established in so many different positions, and our personnel really just doesn't match up. I'd say like the only like I don't know, maybe defensive line. It's like
Yeah, they recruit some serious athletes, but like
that's not enough in the first game.
It's game one of a new program. Like PJ's established. Like people always like hand-wring about this stuff. It's okay to be like, no, like we should take care of business. Like we should.
Absolutely, and we should be able to run what we want to for the most part. So I just really hope they don't take it too easy, where it actually ends up being a one-score game in Vegas.
Yeah, I think now that they have Ethan, I don't think they'll be that afraid to take. I think they'll put their foot on the gas a little more. I'm expecting it.
There's no reason for us not to, really.
Yeah.
And I will say this too. There is changes from last year. Obviously, like we have Ethan under center now for quarterback. Big changes in the O line, obviously, and then other parts of the roster from turnover, graduations, and guys going to the NFL. But this team is already very player led as it is. Like Brevin, Crab, Nathan, and now Ethan are the leaders on the offense. Then on the defense, you got Cody, Jaw Joyner, Tyler Newbin. Like, I don't know. I was at one game. I forgot what year it was when like it's fourth down, like 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Our players were like yelling at PJ like, "We want the ball. We can convert this." And then PJ played it safe. I expect a lot.
I think that was.
Was that last year or 2 years?
That was Nebraska last year. Remember they punted in that super weird situation?
Yeah. And I expect this team to probably do that even more just because, like, you always hear PJ say it. Was like the best teams players lead, the good teams coaches lead, the bad teams no one leads. So, like, I feel like this team is so great, and where they are now, like, we're well established, a concrete set of leaders already in the team that, like, I have to agree with you guys on this already. Like, we gotta do our business. Beat the hell out of Nebraska because, again, they're a weaker roster right now. They're getting to learn themselves. We know what the hell we're doing. Call it done. Get out. Move on to game 2, which is against Eastern Michigan after that. So
they have like no excuses to not come out swinging. That's the best part. It's a conference game. Like they have no excuse to not like play to win the game, right?
Definitely.
And I mean, Nebraska. This is the year where there's really no expectations. This is built. This is the next couple years is building, but this year I get so worked up because it's such an easy thing for the Gophers to come out with the personnel that they have and make this a 4-possession game by halftime.
That's a little much for me because we still have to see what Ethan looks like.
I mean, that's true, but it's just the expectations. Nebraska doesn't have expectations.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like year 0 for them, right?
Yeah, 0, and for us, it's like, okay, we actually have to prove that we have NFL talent on both sides of the ball. Let's make sure that the world sees that, on the Big Ten opener with, an elite play-by-play and analyst.
Yeah, that'd be so sweet. I'm obviously gonna be hyped to be there, but I hope they win so I can watch it back.
Yeah, certainly. Um, Going on from there, do you guys want to get into predictions then for this game?
Sure.
As well.
All right. I'm going first. Or I'll represent Wyatt and myself. So Wyatt says W, no score. I say we win, but it will be 28-14. So I think we'll score 28 points, and they score a touchdown like on the first team defense on like the first or second drive, and then after that Joe Rossi locks it down, and then they score that cheap touchdown because we put in our second or third team defense. But yeah, I'm going 28-14. Soup, you want to go? I see you changing the score there.
Yeah, I'm going 31-17. I think they keep it close for like the most of the first half. Everybody's kind of like, "Yikes! Can we not do this?" And then they pull away in the second half, and they get like a little field goal at the end, maybe like a defensive touchdown off a turnover. That'd be fun.
Oh, so you're giving Dragon the field goal.
Yeah. Like there will be a chip shot at some point in the game, I'm sure.
All right, Griff.
I kind of thought the same as Soup. I was like, there's going to be some weird little field goal that happens at some point in the game. I'm going to go 35-17 Gophs.
Yeah, they'll be up, and there'll be like a 25-yarder they got like straight down the pipe for him, and PJ will be like, let's just give him the rep where it's like the fourth quarter with like 4 minutes left. Who cares?
Right. I figured Nebraska's going to score one touchdown in the first quarter. They'll probably score kind of a garbage touchdown in the fourth quarter because we throw in a bunch of second and third stringers.
I think they'll score both touchdowns in the first half.
Oh, okay.
I think they'll keep it close. It'll be like 20-14 or something going into halftime.
Interesting. I see Jeff Sims as more of they're gonna roll him out more. I mean, he's not at Georgia Tech anymore, but it seems like he kind of just run off tackle or dive. I think they might actually start rolling him out more. He's gonna throw more.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just, who knows? I guess we'll find out. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps our predictions and discussion of Nebraska coming up this Thursday. Again, if you're watching on TV, again, Fox on I can't speak today. If you plan to stream,
some barbecue back there.
If you're planning to watch on any of the TV streams or TV apps or on cable, it's gonna be on Fox. Again, Joe Klatt, Gus Johnson, Jenny Taff, awesome crew to call the game. Radio, KFAN, and then if you're at the game, do note it is a gold out, so wear your gold shirts or jerseys, whatever you want to wear to represent the maroon and gold. So it's a gold out for home opener, and it is sold out. So if you're looking for tickets, make sure to check out those other resale venues and apps, because I think they posted on social media it was sold out already and on their website.
Yep.
I couldn't get tickets, so
it'll be fun.
But also I'm saving for Japan, so priorities right now.
Yeah.
But going on from there, we'll head on to looking at predictions for the remainder of the season. So looking a little bit ahead and getting our.
This is a twofer. You get like a game episode and then the season predictions.
Yep. Just so we can get it in now and set it in stone, so then no changes later on mid-season in case shit happens. So again, I'll go first with myself and Wyatt. Wyatt and I said we'll get wins against Eastern Michigan for our first non-conference game for game 2.
Yeah, we're all in.
Then going from there, which will be interesting, our second non-conference game will be at North Carolina. Wyatt said a loss. I said win.
I'm saying win.
Go off. Go off, King.
You want to mention yours, Soup, or not?
I was gonna let Griffith go. I was ready to go with them.
I mean, we always play tough out of conference. I mean, UNC's got some grit too, but no, I mean, I'm a homebody. I roll with the Ghosts.
That's fine. Yeah, I've got them losing here. Going 2-1 the first 3 games is, two pretty tough. A pretty tough opponent, North Carolina, a conference game with Nebraska, and then a pretty good Eastern Michigan team. I think people will be surprised, but
As long as it doesn't turn into a Georgia Southern last minute comeback.
no, as fun as that was, let's not do that anymore.
Please.
So I just think North Carolina will be like a big test for them. I think it'll be a close game, but
They're ranked in the AP top 25, right?
I think if it was at home, I'd pick the Gophers. But I think in North Carolina is going to be a little different than most Big Ten West stadiums. So whatever. I think that'll be like a fun game for everybody.
And I think that one's going to be on ESPN and ESPN2 for the broadcast. So it's going to be on TV for that. Going on from there, for returning the Big Ten play will be at Evanston against the Northwestern Wildcats.
W next.
Yeah, easy. Going on from there, for our last.
Oh, actually, no, I'm kidding.
Next up for our last non-conference game will be against the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette.
W, but this will be fun. It'll be a fun one to watch, I think. They're a fun team.
They're in FCS, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Are they?
I believe so.
Sure.
And mind you, this is also the homecoming game at home as well. So
that's true. Interesting.
11 a.m. kickoff. And then next up for our preview for episode 69, and then on the game weekend itself, Soup's birthday, we're against Michigan, the battle for the jug. Before we hit the bye, Wyatt said loss. I said win.
You're going with Gophers playing spoiler to the Michigan run this year?
Yes.
That'd be fun. I would love that for you.
Again, I think I'm just too optimistic and excited for the season that my predictions are very out there.
Nah, just pick. It's fine. But yeah, I have them losing. I don't know. People think Michigan's gonna be really good. I think they're just in a different tier right now than the Gophers, honestly. So, we'll get there. I think this will be closer too. Like I think the Gophers will hang in there for a while. So I think it'll be a well fought and well earned loss.
I disagree. I don't know why I don't have a lot of faith in the Gophers. But mentioned they're kind of in a different tier, so I was kind of expecting this game to be over by halftime. So L.
Yeah.
I love the optimism though from you two. I really hope I'm wrong.
Well, we'll find out in a few weeks here. And then, like I said already, we're going to bye. When we return from the bye, we will be.
Don't forget the W. Don't forget the W.
Yes,
bye week.
All dubs during the bye week. Going on from there, we return. We'll be at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa. Wyatt said loss. I said win. I think this will be the game where we actually get Floyd or Rosedale back.
Yeah. This is the one where you can really see who is scarred by the Gophers. This one hurts for, I think, Griffin and Wyatt this game, and I understand, but I have them winning. I think PJ finally gets the ghost here.
I mean, you're judged on rivalry games. He's conquered Wisconsin. And I really want to say we're not going to pull it out, but I'm going to say we're going to pull it out.
Damn.
All right. Going on from there, we'll be back at home against Michigan State. Wyatt said win. I said win.
Win. No idea what Mel Tucker's doing over there. Win.
50-0 win.
Daniel Jackson again.
Nick Callerup, excuse me.
True.
Why not
Gotta
both?
show depth at tight end
Why
again.
not both?
It's true.
Just watch Ethan go like, I don't know, 95, 99% pass completion, 300 yards in the air. Just feast on that secondary.
200 yards from the tight end. You heard it here first.
All aboard. I'm shoveling coal into the Brevin Span Ford train. That's me.
Let's go.
Brevin gets 100 in the first half. They take him out. Callerup's in the second half. Still cooks. Cannot wait.
Just watch Michigan State have like players suspended again, like what happened last year. Because that's what happened, right? When we came in the game, a bunch of their guys got suspended.
Yeah.
But moving on from there, next game at home, back-to-back home games will be against Illinois. Wyatt said win. I said loss. So that'll be our. So according to my list right now, that's our first loss of the season, going into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, week 10.
Yeah, totally get it. I totally see the rake coming for them to step on, you know? I'm just optimistic, I guess, that they'll jump over it.
I think Griff and I are in the same boat on this, right, Griff?
I said L.
Yep.
That is correct.
Going on, we'll be at Purdue under a new coach. I forgot his name, but I know he was from Illinois as a DC the season before.
He was their DC, yeah.
We all said dubs. Jeff Brom isn't
Yep.
there anymore.
First year of a new regime, you know, same thing. They're kind of starting up, so.
I don't see drastic improvement in their defense either. So
No.
I think that'll be another wide receiver feasting game.
Sure.
Yep. Next up, we'll be at Ohio State at the Horseshoe.
Huge W, 50-0.
69-0.
Who the hell is Orion Day?
Jokes aside, we all said L.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But I will say though, if we lose by like one score or even just by 14,
If you cover.
Yeah.
Good teams win, great teams cover.
for sure.
I think we've always played Ohio State fairly closely, and at least in recent memory, we had 30-14.
Yeah, we usually have a good half.
Yep.
We usually have, and then it was 45-31, and you know, we'll at least make it a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all you can really ask for at that point.
You throw a pick six at the end. 50.
Yeah. And then going into the last game of the season for Thanksgiving at home, we'll be playing against the Wisconsin Badgers. All of us at dub.
Yep. You know, I think people forget Luke Fickle is coming from the group of five. Like, I'm excited to see what he's up to. I know he's been to a playoff, but like the talent pool is different up here. And it'll be interesting to see how they look, because I think they'll get better as the year goes on, as they usually do. And I think they'll be solid, but I think the Gophers have more talent than people like want to admit. And right now, I think we are more talented as a team.
I think Wisconsin, from what I can see, well, I don't know if it's biased, but like my sister and my brother are or were going to Madison as students. They're Badger fans, so the sibling rivalry is real. They're they're optimistic compared to how things were done under Paul Chryst.
Sure.
Obviously, Jim Leonard got hosed at the end of the season.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah. But I can see them going like 6-6, maybe 7-5. Like
No, they'll be frisky.
Yeah. So like they're gonna fight for every tooth and nail, and same thing with the rivalry.
This will be a very easy one to drop. This will be a very easy one to like end on a bad note.
Yeah.
It would be very fitting.
Yeah. And then going on from there, so in terms of regular season records,
I got them winning for the record. Dub.
Wyatt predicted 8-4 overall for the season. I'm saying 10-2 overall.
Well,
Hype.
Very hype. And then
2019 Outback Bowl. Here we come.
Griffin going 8-4.
I got him at 9-3. So.
Alrighty. And looking at it here, I left question marks on the Big Ten championship. Soup, you went in and said no.
Yeah,
which I can see. Yeah.
You guys, cut it out.
No, I'm not having those expectations. I'm like, probably not. I will say though, since all of us are bowl eligible, the three of us agreed we'll get the dub in said bowl game.
Oh yeah, they love a bowl game.
And we might hurt some defensive players in the running back room because like that's what we always do in every bowl game.
I think Jordan's different, but yeah.
Alrighty, that sums up our preseason predictions. So let's see how true we are towards the end of the season. But yeah, that is a wrap. Is there any other topics you guys want to chat about? Any hot takes? We'll take those too.
I already said all aboard the Brevin train. So
Choo-choo.
That one's like meh. I'm hoping for a big year from Justin Wally. That'll be fun. That's what I want to see. I want to see Justin Wally get his hands on the football a couple times.
I definitely think he will. Who do you think is like on our roster that will kind of shine the brightest that you didn't expect?
I think it'll be one of the transfers that they got at wide receiver. Whether it's Crooms or Elijah Spencer.
I'm actually leaning towards Tyler Newman's brother in the running back room.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he's 5 on the depth chart right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he's a great special teamer, and that's fine. He's got a role on this team. He's a special teamer, emergency running back, emergency safety if you need him. Like, that's fine. That's a great person to have.
I think our heads are in the same spot there, Soup, with the transfer wide receivers, because I had Crooms in mine. Just him playing the slot. It'll be huge.
Yep, Sean Tyler, running back.
Running back by committee.
Zach Evans. Everybody, I think they'll ride the hot hand. I think you'll see, like, if one guy gets hot, I think they'll just, like, keep letting that guy do his thing.
I mean, as they should, really.
I think you need to be able to pass protect in what they're going to want to do. So, I don't know. Their running backs are, like, all kind of small. Outside of Bryce Williams, everybody's, like, under 6 feet. So,
I do have a take, but I don't know how hot it is.
Say it.
I think Greg Schiano gets fired from Rutgers.
At the end of this year? That's not that hot.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I remember, like, when Griffin and I visited that one year.
If they're bad, I feel like they definitely will.
Especially if they were, like, they poached off Kirk Shiraka back to Rutgers to coach the offense.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I remember when Griffin and I were there. What was it? Their homecoming, Griffin, in 2019. Yep. Like, the fans were all gone by halftime.
That's hilarious.
And only, like, a handful of students and parents, but I think those were, like, band friends and family, because the marching band stayed through to the game, playing their hearts out on the field and in the stands.
I also think like the community of people who goes to the game is growing, and I think it's like people are in, like people who come are like there to like have a good time,
Hmm.
which is nice. So
But I think even with Schrock, I don't think they'll get to a bowl because they've been struggling
yeah,
the last few years, and especially the quarterback play they've been having. So
no,
I'd say he gone.
yeah, now would be the time for him. It's just
But I don't have one for the West though. I think the coaches will remain, unless you guys think someone else is going to get booted in the Big Ten.
I don't know. Well, there's too much going. There's already a lot going on. I don't think so.
Alrighty, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching or listening to OPA Podcast episode 64 today. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button on YouTube or just follow us on whatever you follow podcasts on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or SoundCloud. But going from there, Soup will be at the game this Thursday. I will be watching it from home. And I don't know about you, Griffin.
Currently not going, but if I find a cheap enough ticket, I probably will. So I'm 50-50.
All right. But yeah, everyone have fun at the home opener this Thursday, and then we'll be back next Monday to recap Nebraska and preview Eastern Michigan. But yeah, have a great night, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Oh.